Day. First, let me say hello to Earl. Hello, Earl.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Earl. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Very
We're
happy
glad to have you. We got Laborio with us today. Say hello.
Good afternoon there, Mike.
Hello.
Hello, man. We got
Hello.
Look, and we have a guest here
Special
today.
guest that we know a long time. Scotty is here today. He's representing Premier Plumbing and Heating Corporation. He's a specialist. He walks around with his hands up in the air.
Scotty, why don't you say a word? Why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hello.
All right.
Yeah, he's got the tone. He's got the tone.
Very good.
Uh-oh, Mike, you're going to get fined because your phone is
No,
going
it's not
off.
my phone this time.
That's a $10 fine.
Okay, today what are we going to talk about, gentlemen, around the booth? That's it. We're going to be talking about plumbing, heating, specifically radiant heat today, and what goes into your building frame at this point that we've framed up, and we've got the AC in from last week.
Do you know why we're doing this?
It's very cold out, Mike,
It's
isn't
getting
it?
colder. That's why, Lee. So we brought somebody in who does this for a living, more than once a week also.
That's right, and we'd appreciate your calls today. So, and we're going to go through the magic hat items because last week we did give away a couple of pieces of
and they called us, and
equipment.
they're very happy with
They're
those
very
hat
happy
items.
with it. And again, we want to thank the folks out there who've called us for some estimates. We had 2 calls last week, and Earl's been out there throwing some paper around to people and getting them some estimates for some jobs. And today, our magic question for the magic hat item.
What's the question, Lee?
The question today, since we're dealing with plumbing, okay, is going to be where was the first sewer district created in the United States of America?
Sewer district in America.
That's right.
The number one.
Where does it flow? Where did it flow?
Earl's got a hand
Earl's
up.
over there.
What's Earl say?
Shinola, Ohio.
I know.
Ohio.
Just across from Lee's backyard.
That's right. That's right. Not really the place we were thinking of, Earl, but
no.
doesn't mean. And for those folks who have the answer today, you have an hour to come up with that. So get on your computers, drop your cup of coffee, and call us in. We have the Sony Microvolt 4 gigabyte traveling drive, Mike, a flash drive.
I wish I could call in myself.
Nice. And for the first caller with any questions, we have today the Sony Handycam. We're giving away
You're really giving that away?
Digital 8. No, it just says Video 8 CCD F34. 651-1110. Plumbing is the topic. Scotty, why don't you tell us a little bit about how we get started in a new construction or an addition? To start,
Let's
where do
say we
start?
have a customer who's now in need of a heating system. What options do you give them, and how would you normally give choices?
Well, first thing you do is you start by sitting down with the homeowner and trying to find out exactly what they need and why they need it. After you sit down and you find out what kind of a gas system you have or an oil system you have, then you can start approaching how you're going to deliver the heat to the house. Right. There's forced air, which is a very an older technology, but still used in a lot of homes today.
A lot of homes.
There's hot water heat, which includes baseboard. But today's real solution for most new construction and renovation would be the comfort of radiant heat.
What is radiant heat?
Very nice.
Well, radiant heat is either applied underfloor, in slab, which would be a high mass application, or on floor in mass, which would be a mud application over radiant.
So radiant is, how is it applied, though? What is it? Is it a tube?
It is
Well, hold
it
on.
is an
Let's stop for a
extruded-
minute. For the folks that maybe don't know, the different masses. So mass being concrete. When we talk about high mass versus the mud job. So just explain that briefly for the folks.
Well, a high mass application would be an in slab, which would be a 4-inch poured concrete slab. The reason that we call it a high mass application is because you're using that 4 inches of concrete throughout the slab to radiate heat into the space. A low mass or a lower mass application would be a mud job or something what we would call Portland over floor, where we would staple down the radiant tube and then wind up pulling mud over the tubing.
A lightweight concrete.
Yes, an on-site kind of fabrication, as opposed to when we're doing a high mass application, we generally have trucked in concrete. We also have low mass applications which are underfloor, where we staple up the radiant tube to the subflooring, and we're able to deliver radiant heat not only through low mass applications like concrete or tile, but also underneath hardwoods.
Really?
Generally, we run a lower temperature when we're running a hardwood application, because that hardwood application, we're worried about cupping or buckling of the floors if we're running too high a temperature. So it's very important that we get hardwoods that are low in moisture content, which can be tested by your supplier, and we know that we're running a very low temperature application so that we're not going to have any future buckling or splitting.
What maintain of temperature would you keep it at?
Every temperature,
I mean, now I'm interested in that wood application because that's something
Well,
new and different.
every application is different in so much as you either have a 10-foot ceiling, maybe you have an 8-foot ceiling, maybe you have a 40 by 40 room, maybe you have a 20 by 20 room. But for the most part, what we're trying to do is calculate our heat loss. And by doing so, we're going to use an outdoor reset, which is going to vary our temperatures depending on the temperature outside and the day. You no longer have to have a straight temperature that you're going to use consistently.
Like a thermostat control? idea?
Well,
An exterior sensor.
exactly. In other words, we have what's called outdoor resets. What they do is they tell a smart, high-efficiency boiler today what temperature to burn at based on the outdoor heat loss. Instead of worrying about what the thermostat is saying in the space, our boilers are now smart enough to spool themselves up to get hot before the outdoor temperature affects the indoor living act.
That's pretty intelligent.
In other words, what we're trying to do today is to only replace the heat that we feel is being lost to temperature outside, instead of our old technology furnaces and boilers, which actually turn on and burn from 140 degrees to, say, 200 degrees.
Yes.
Okay, even if you need 1 degree inside the space.
Yeah.
Now, what we're trying to do today is to have a modulating type of boiler or furnace system that basically only energizes itself to replace the heat loss that's needed in the space.
It's more efficient. You're saving
High
energy and fuel,
efficiency.
yeah.
Very high
Extremely
efficiency.
high efficient.
Intelligent.
And
It orders dinner for you sometimes, right,
Yeah.
Earl?
Well, takeout.
Takeout, right? It calls in for takeout,
Chinese.
depending on the temperature outside. And
So actually, the demand
Pretty cool.
to turn
Very
on the
nice.
system isn't that strong.
No, most of the time with the newer systems that we're running, we're finding that our modulating boilers are running anywhere between 100 and, say, 125 or 130 degrees.
That's a big
And
difference.
they will, in fact, get hotter as the winter progresses. Only when we need them to use more energy are we going to ask them to use more energy.
Right.
And the bottom line is we're finding savings between 25 and 40% on our energy bills.
That's a big difference.
Wow.
It's tremendous technology. It's hard for the novice or for most plumbing and heating contractors to really grasp the new idea of what we're trying to achieve. But in the end, the government in the United States is going to eventually outlaw all open combustion units for safety reasons and because they are energy pigs, and we need to get rid of them.
So
Scott, since you do this on a regular basis, I think we should tell people what your phone number is out there and how to reach you when they are considering possibly upgrading or changing their systems.
I could be reached at 1-845-357-8432. That is a direct office number.
Oh, good.
And I can be reached at any time. And what we do is we try to intelligently discuss energy use and why it is important for anyone doing a new renovation or doing an addition or purchasing a new home to seriously consider high efficiency heating solutions.
And that's why you come so highly recommended by American Design and Build.
Exactly.
As a team member. When
Exactly.
we have a heating concern, we bring in Scott, and he sits with the customer and explains it all to him.
That's right.
And that's the way it's got to work. He's a teammate.
Knowledge is the most